Commence primary ignition.
Hi, this is author Timothy Zahn. You're listening to Virtual Cantina Network.
And you're watching us too.
As well. We are audible and visual.
Yes, I don't know. We kind of have faces for radio, so maybe that worked. I don't know. But anyway, welcome up to another week of the Virtual Cantina Watch Along as we do our countdown for Season 2 Andor. We're very excited about that. By now, you probably know who we are, so I'm not going to go through the introductions. But, Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm good. Tired. We had a campus-wide flex, well, they call it a flex day, but everybody else gets to hang out and gab with their coworkers and listen to stuff and go to little sessions, and our department gets to work it and make sure everybody's stuff is working the way it's supposed to. So I was doing a lot of running around all day, and so I'm a little worse for wear, but I'm feeling all right at the moment.
And Dave, how are you doing?
I am doing well. I just, essentially got out of the shower. We just played lacrosse in the pouring rain for 3 hours.
Oh, fun.
Yay.
So,
in the pouring rain, huh?
In the pouring rain, like rain bouncing up off the ground and getting you wet from below.
So did someone leave the cake out?
Yes.
Awesome. So a lot of celebration news. Let's talk about first and foremost 29 days away from Star Wars Celebration Japan, which means 28 days from the Natso.
Woohoo!
Which is crazy. Kiriana Crater. Let's just talk about that. I mean, Dave, let's talk about KB.
So fun. All of the kids are so fun. I of course, for those of you who watch regularly, got the pleasure of meeting all of them at MegaCon Orlando. Really, that was kind of the reason why I just dropped everything and had to go to MegaCon Orlando. And they're great. They're just so fun. They're so happy to be part of Star Wars. They're full of energy. And I mean, it's going to be great to have her at the Not So Virtual Cantina in Japan. It's really going to be fun.
And we've been getting a lot of buzz from that. A lot of people have been trying to say, can I get tickets for this event? Well, yes and no. No, you can't get tickets. But we will start having a lineup at 6:30 p.m. on the 17th for the hyperspace ticket. Basically, one man leave, one man enter kind of scenario. Half price tickets includes open bar and all the shenanigans except for a swag bag and food, and you get the opportunity to go there. One person said, so if I line up at 3 o'clock, what's your thoughts on me getting in? I'm like, probably pretty good.
I would think so, yes.
At that point, but very excited about Kiriana, have her over there. She definitely was a standout in the Skeleton Crew. Not to say that the other kids were not, but she was pretty important in her own right. Especially considering the fact that also one of my favorite characters of Star Wars is Lobot. To see a Lobot as a character was kind of cool. Shout out to the late great John Hollis for that.
Yeah.
But also the Toy Father.
Yes.
Jim Swearingen, who is quite the gentleman, great guy to chat with. His husband, Emery, is really cool as well. Both Dave and I met Jim at Nashville last year, and he was just, a delight. And both Jim and Emery actually showed up at Bunta in Nashville. It was really cool to have him come and hang out with us there.
Yeah, I
So
had
we're really-
met Jim before at GalaxyCon, I think Columbus, which is kind of his home con stomping grounds kind of place. And great guy, super fun, so knowledgeable about all of the Star Wars action figures because, like, you know, he created them out of his own brain.
Yes. So it's pretty awesome in that capacity. I do know some people who are planning to bring their OG X-Wings with them to get that signed, which I'm like, that's not a horrible idea if I can get it done in time. But also, you know, we've been plugging greatly is that Japan native David Santana has announced that our event is going to be his last signing. So if you are a completionist when it comes to stormtroopers or sand troopers or super troopers, you might want to get a David autograph. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Excuse me, did you say Super Troopers? I call shenanigans.
Well, I said it right, meow.
Meow, right, meow.
Yes. But yes, you call shenanigans. So we're very excited about the Natso. Natso is going to be fantastic, you know, and everything that's going on. But let's talk about a couple of things. Carry on. Thank you to our good friend Justin, who with Elevate Artist Network for helping us. Very excited.
That might be the where I saw him. It was probably Cincinnati. It was probably not Columbus. You never know. It might have been both.
Speaking of the kids, you know, Jeff will be up at Riverside on Saturday at the Inland Empire Strikes Back, where 3 of the kids are going to be there, plus Maria Sandoval, who is on Skywalking Through Neverland. Take a look at her video interview, which is fantastic. Also, Laura Mary Kim, a whole bunch of people, but you also see Virtual Cantina's own Jeff Caffrey there.
Yes.
I don't know when exactly I'll be there, probably earlier in the day, maybe hopefully arriving around noonish. It's an hour-and-a-half drive on a good day. So, you know, when I get there, I will get there and hang out for a bit and try to say hi to everybody. And if you see me, say hi. And then on Sunday, I'm going to try to hit up the Creation Con event that is going to include Dawn Dininger and Tamara. I always forget her last name with that hyphen. Carlson Woodard, and probably Misty Rosas and some others. So
he's going to go see Gates McFadden and Denise Crosby.
Well, the headliners or whatever, but
yes. And I'll be at the Super Mega Retro Fest in Danvers this coming weekend, where Paul Blake and Gerald Prescott will be. I'll be there on Saturday. But honestly,
and I'll be at my house grabbing a shower. So if anybody has any expertise and would like to help you with that,
honestly, I'm obviously excited to see Gerald again and to see Paul again. But Nod from Superman 2 is going to be there. To me, that's kind of cool. Yes, exactly.
Wasn't he in Superman 1-2 for like a split second?
Yeah, but they printed a Phantom Zone at the beginning of the movie by Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
So, or his goes to fly at the end and falls right into the
yeah.
Do you want to talk about prices or anything? Because we have that graphic available.
Our prices. So our prices are very, very good for as far as the combo is concerned. Now, just let you know that if you want to get autographs or selfies separately, the talent we're going to have will have that available at their tables. However, that's at their discretion. But we're going to give you the combos because we want to make sure that you get a selfie. Yeah, I think that's important in the package. Everything's going to be done via PayPal, so make sure you have your PayPal available. Chris Parsons is $70, which is a great price right there. Kiriana, Bradley Galley, and Christine Galley are all $60 for their combo. Marta Matulis is $50. Jim Swearingen is $40, along with Fawn Davis, Maria Sandoval, and David Santana. So really good pricing, I would say, for our event. I mean, right there alone, you'll probably save about maybe about $400 if you want to get all 9 people, roughly.
It's not bad for an entire signing room full of people.
Oh yeah, completely.
I mean, you can go to a con and spend that on one person. We're telling you, you get
Go to
9.
a con and
Star Wars Celebration.
Yes, you get your autograph and photo op with Diego Luna or Hayden Christensen for $400 each.
Yeah, you're done.
But they announced a whole bunch of stuff. We got the first of all the panels. We got the full panel schedule for the con. Jeff, was there anything that really stood out to you? I know you're not terribly a panel guy, but sometimes you like to indulge.
I like to enjoy a panel here and there, and it depends. I mean, like the one I posted about personally was the Imagineering panel, the Disney one. So, that kind of stuff always intrigues me, and it's great to see what they're working on and how things kind of work, which is cool. Obviously, the big panels are going to draw my attention. Ahsoka and Andor were both on Saturday. Anything Hasbro related tends to catch my attention. I like to see what they're doing with the figures. Although, going from spending $1.38 on an action figure back in the day, and I'm talking back in the day, to $30+ for a similar hunk of plastic. Although, I mean, they do amazing stuff nowadays, but still, it's just it's a little unfortunate, but it's the way of things. Everything is much more expensive nowadays. But so I still haven't really drilled down into the panels and decided exactly what my options are for each day. I will be trying next was it Wednesday for the
25th. Yeah.
So yeah, the 25th for my panel selections, and I'll it's only the four big ones.
Right.
So we'll see what happens with that. I'll be happy if I get one, but if I get more than one, I'll be really happy. Yeah, so we'll see what's up with that. But I still got to kind of mill through the list. I looked at it the other day, and I was kind of like, oh, that looks cool, and oh, who's in that? And it was nice to have some more information, which is one of the things I always kind of get disappointed in Star Wars and Celebration and Lucasfilm and whoever, Disney, about how it takes so long to kind of get that information out there. I understand, signing with people and making sure logistics are proper and making, having an idea of what's going on requires a lot, but they need to at least kind of put some vague information out maybe a little sooner, I think. But we're, we're 3 weeks out.
Yeah, you're a huge panel guy. What's your thoughts?
I mean, it's the same kind of thing. I haven't started planning my smaller panels because I'm really waiting on the lottery to see what I get on the bigger panels.
Yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to.
The Doug Chang panels, you're right there, Troy. I think those are going to be amazing.
Two, right?
The only thing that strikes me is how much that's going to take away from his signing time. Because I think his signing time is going to be a hugely popular kind of deal, because this is his first official signing on. I mean, he usually is just walking around the floor and will sign anything you hand him, but he's there and has booth and people have stuff and reservations. It's like, ooh, how much is him being so busy in panels going to take away from that?
And a couple of the prints for his table is because they Official Picks announced the table prints. He's got some great Mandalorian prequels,
concept art stuff.
Concept art is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I bought a essentially, I think it was the Art of Episode 1 a portfolio, and it's got a bunch of different 11x17, 11x14 prints in there that many of them are his, if not all of them, I think. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing right there is you can always do that. Go for the big ones, get your autos, see how the days go, and you know, just look and go, oh, hey, I've got some time right now. There's a panel going on. I bet that one doesn't have a line, and you stumble into some really cool panels that way.
In some cases, going for the big ones is like it's wishful thinking for the most part, but also if you have the ability to view it elsewhere, celebration stage, whatever the live stage is going to be called, you can, it's going to be a huge crowd likely, and it's going to be a great environment to view it in if you can't get in the room.
Right.
So a couple of the ones like I'm looking forward to is like obviously the big ones, but one that's not surprisingly not a reservation one is a 20th anniversary of Lucasfilm Animation being run by Dave Filoni, not Filoni, but Filoni, and it's talking about the future of animation, which I'm very intrigued by that. Also, another one I'm really excited about, but unfortunately I'm probably not going to be able to do, is one day they're doing the Siege of Mandalore arc.
Oh yeah, those butt up against other stuff.
Oh right? Yeah,
it's like butts up against a major panel. Right. And then another one is the finale of Rebels.
Right, there's some great viewing opportunities there, and I didn't look at like specifics on those in terms of who was going to be there, but those could turn out to be some amazing.
And one person I feel really badly for, and it's a friend of our group, Mike Celestino from Who's the Boss. His panel is 10 a.m. on Friday up against the Mandalorian Grogu panel.
That's kind of a bummer. You'd think they would maybe just have those time slots sit out. Maybe do not
only was he upset he was not going to be able to go to that panel, but he's like, who's going to come to my panel when everybody's trying to get a hold of that trailer?
And if they're doing like the stream in the big room and you can go watch that, that's going to attract a huge amount of people and detract from his ability to have an actual audience. Sort of like what happened to Kevin Smith at Comic-Con a few years back.
Right.
When the Star Wars panel was the one before his was the end of the day, and the draw of the Star Wars panel after the fact to here, come along with us and we're going to take you to a Star Wars in concert on the bay kind of thing. It just drew his entire crowd out the door with lightsabers in hand to go, back around the back of the convention center, and left, a couple hundred people sitting there. I'm sure it was amazing for them.
All right.
But the fact that the room drained out like that when it would have just, been still full of people in a normal, scenario.
Chris, you're absolutely right about that, because I was on the floor in Chicago for the reveal of Rise of Skywalker. And if you watch the viral clips from IGN, they barely showed the wind trust at all. They showed the floor where we were at the Star Wars show stage.
Yeah, that was the crowd.
The crowd, and the big reveal of, Palpatine laughing, and then the romance again. There's a great shot of me going,
yes.
What year was the trailer to know about the Kevin Smith?
That was, I forget what his I think it was like 2018 is kind of what I'm thinking of, but I'm sure you could Google it. But it was I forget what he was promoting, but it was definitely Disney era Star Wars that took the room and basically they led the room out of Hall H. Everyone was sitting in there, 6,500 seats. Gave everyone a nice little $12 lightsaber, and proceeded to have they proceeded to walk from that hall, which is on the edge of the convention center, out the door and around the back to where there's like a marina behind San Diego, if you've ever been there before.
Yeah.
And now they've built like a amphitheater.
Oh, they went out to the amphitheater?
Yes, they took them all out to the amphitheater, filled that up, and did a orchestral thing with Star Wars music and stuff. Very similar. I'm gonna actually catch a Star Wars in concert in Japan. I just bought a ticket yesterday for A New Hope on Friday, so didn't have a ticket for any other events or a specific desire necessarily to go to any other events, and I thought, enjoying orchestral version of Star Wars, A New Hope Star Wars, with a crowd from Tokyo would be quite the experience. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm jaded. I've seen John Williams conduct in the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
So, it's a different level, but this should be a great show as well. So, and it'll, give me something to do Friday night other
Absolutely.
than whatever else was going to go.
One of the things I actually liked as well is they had a listing of panels that are going to be in English and panels that are going to be in Japanese.
Oh, right. Yeah. I didn't see that. I did notice that for the concert they're doing Japanese subtitles.
That's awesome.
Obviously, the movie's going to be in English originally,
right.
And that would probably be the best way to play it as opposed to a dubbed version or something, and then having English subtitles.
And then the other thing we got was the list of vendors, which was a very interesting lineup. Obviously, because of distribution, obviously, the big surprise was there was no Funko. But I've been hearing that Bandai might have the distribution rights for Funko in Japan. So they might have their stuff there. But you got Hot Toys, obviously going to be there, which is great.
It was exclusive already. Exclusive
18.
Already.
They're doing 18 Celebration exclusive. They only announced Gale and Urso so far.
Nice. I noticed it was like in the 70s in terms of like brands that will be there, which I thought was pretty decent. I've never really counted out like the amount of vendors or exhibitors or whatever you want to call it. They're exhibitors. So that amount seemed decent to me in terms of, an array of things, all kinds of different products, whatever. There was a good selection of Japanese companies, which I thought was really good.
I'm excited about that. Other autograph companies are going to be there selling their wares. Also, I was like, The Gap? Like, okay.
Hot Toys.
There's a Hot Toys plus Loft Cat?
Huh? Another one that I thought was actually pretty cool. Obviously, Hasbro. Now, we know that there's going to be a Hasbro Pulse show on the 25th of March. So they'll probably release the Celebration exclusives then. That's what they typically do. And then Roosevelt's. I'm so surprised that Roosevelt's is going to have a booth in Japan, which is great because I do know that Paging Mr. Morrow is going to be in Japan as well. He's going to be there. I know Kitcher and Peter are flying out from
Ordinary Adventures.
Yes. Gabriel, Star Wars Replicas, he's going to Japan because he actually reached out to me about Natso. So a lot of the YouTubers that are big into Star Wars are, for the most part, going to be in Japan, which is great.
Kitra and Peter's, the Ordinary Adventures folks, their videos lately have been very Japan-centric, or because they do a lot of park stuff, and they do both coasts. They do Florida as well as California. But they've had a lot of sort of invaluable information when it comes to just Japan in general. So if you
help me,
their stuff,
absolutely, they help me prep. Like for example, the fact that I booked the Godzilla was because that's where they stayed in the first.
I think I got the idea once you said something about doing it. That was like in the back of my head, like, oh yeah, I saw them, talk about it.
And they love the Fanta melon soda as well. But also
Peter loves that.
But they talked about also is in Osaka, it's the expo the week before, I believe, or the week after. So they were.
I think it's going the entire month, isn't it? It's more than 1 week. It's multiple weeks.
They're at least going. I know they're playing. They were playing.
For they're going.
On their last trip, they said, "Ooh, we might be in Japan at that time." Wink, wink.
Wow.
kind of scenario. So that's going on as well. And obviously, the week after is, the Blossom Week in Japan. But also, right before we show up, Star Tours is getting the new scenes in Japan. So we'll get the Andor, the Ahsoka, and the Mando?
Yeah, Mando, Grogu, Andor, and Ahsoka are the currently in Disneyland, Anaheim, California. Those are the holograms. The extra location scene is Peridia, whatever. I can't ever remember the name.
Oh, the
where the Purgles are. So where the Purgles are is the extra scene for a location on Star Tours currently in Disneyland proper. And but you don't know what you're going to get in terms of the hologram, but it will be one of the 3 new ones, which is nice. Also, the which they didn't talk about when they redid it or updated, I should say, they didn't redo it. Was the intro. If you pay attention during the intro element of the ride, when you first get sort of like in the clutches of whoever it is, usually Vader or Kylo Ren, as you try to exit the ship, the background can give you a lot of information about what's going on. You'll see sometimes the Falcon, you'll see sometimes other ships, sometimes you'll see Ahsoka's Jedi Starfighter. So that is it's a nice little sort of background Easter egg that you don't necessarily pay attention to unless you know it's there.
So it's going to be very, very interesting. Obviously, don't forget we have our 2 meetups at Disney. On the 15th, we are going to be at Seas. We're meeting at 10:30 in the morning over at the Tower of Terror. And then at Disneyland proper at Star Tours on the Wednesday the 16th at Star Tours at 10:30, just after the 501st meetup as well.
Oh, okay.
So they'll be back to back with, so we can, the people from the 501st can, tag into ours, that our members, and vice versa. We did that purposely for that. But, there's going to be a lot of great meetups going on. We are going to announce in the next day or so our 2025 family portrait in Japan. We have that all situated location and our photographer, which we're very excited about. And just excited to meet up with all of our family. I mean, I think the fact that we got so many people, not just from your core crew here at VCN, but also, people we've known for, we traveled to London, we traveled to Nashville, we traveled to San Diego, we did a big family trip. A lot of them are coming over with us to Japan just because they just want to come and hang out, To me, that's a thing. I mean, Dave, you joined us on a family vacation, just starting to hang out. And now it's like everywhere you go, you're running into members and it's all hangouts all the time.
Oh, all the time. It's it grows and grows. It all started with the bright orange shirt and it keeps going.
That's a classic.
It really is.
Does anybody know? I'm thinking it's lenient, but I know when we did the family vacation last year that people had issues taking swag into the park.
Swag into the parks.
So Joanna was the only one that had issues in California, right. But then she went to a different date and walked in.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, really arbitrary. I know, like I meet with other groups and stuff, and there's a group called Single Riders, which is essentially, people that go solo a lot or in small groups that, aren't necessarily paired up with somebody that goes to the park with them. And the lady who runs that had an issue getting buttons and some of the name stickers through security, and then ultimately they got some in, but not all the ones they wanted to bring in. So, but what's weird is from what I've seen, from Kitra and Peter's Ordinary Adventures videos, and I also watch Chris Provost, Provost Park Pass, or Park Pass as it's now called. He's been in that side of the Pacific for a while lately. I mean, in terms of what videos he's showing or putting out. And he talked about how weirdly available scalpers are with like certain types of content. Like they'll bring in like plushes and try to sell them to you in the park.
What?
That is so bizarre. It just weirds me out. And they allow them to do it, so that you'll see like people that aren't necessarily like park employees or whatever with like a bunch of weird random shit for sale inside the park. So I kind of, when I started to answer this question, I asked this question, I'm like, I kind of answered it already just by thinking about that. Like, how lenient are they? How lenient are they in that case? It's like how like a stack of like patches is not going to be anything to them.
Yeah.
So while we start the show, we'll continue to chat afterwards, as we normally do, and then we'll go
yes. So we're on episode 9. Nobody's listening. And get your Disney Plus going, and we will hit the countdown. Here we go. Switch
So,
over here.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but on Instagram, Ahmed Best is looking for Japanese designers to pimp out his fit for a con. He wants to hire Japanese artists and designers to make his outfits for Japan.
Wow.
I saw about that, but I didn't like read much up on what he was talking about. So that's very cool. Not a bad idea.
Yep. And also, for those who have not bought any autographs yet, Diego and Hayden are 100% sold out. Autographs and photo ops. Oscar has Friday days available for premium and 8x10s.
Also, the part of his autograph stuff is sold out, but only like
Saturday.
a third of it or something. Oh, okay. But I mean, in terms of, you said 8x10s and whatever.
He's only doing 8. So his bulkies are available. His premiums, his bulkies are available for all of them, but his premiums and his 8x10 for Saturday are completely sold out.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, that whole like weird tiered thing is what kind of bugs me a bit. But they do what they need to do.
But how about we were talking about this before? Fan Expo Boston announces in the last 2 days Simon Pegg and John Boyega the same weekend that we're in Texas.
You're
You're like, I'm flying halfway across the country, and these folks are right in my backyard.
And don't get me wrong, Texas has this fantastic opportunity, but those two, like Simon Pegg, which you probably think that Nick Frost is right behind them, because they do everything.
Well, that's true, huh? And that's SM33 from Skeleton Crew.
Yes.
Yeah. But hey, if you're doing a Force Awakens piece, you got Ungor Plot and Finn. So,
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that if I was going to see him, I would probably get something Scotty signed.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, completely.
It's interesting here how this like intro, like the music is really starting to ramp up.
Yeah.
And it's changed over the season.
Jeff, are you going to do the running of the prisoners this year?
I'm considering it, planning on it, and I just kind of I'm part of the group, and I know you were like looking at the patch. I was thinking about getting one, but I didn't sign up for it, so maybe I can trade with somebody. But my idea is but I'm also like, should I buy a new set? And is it kosher to wear my crappy AliExpress version versus the amazing cosplays that a lot of people have?
Honestly, do what you want to do with the running. It's not like like MVO announced that he's a new Novo version of it is coming out.
Oh, nice.
I think a couple of those need to fall off the truck.
I'm still waiting for my Kylo Ren bucket, so I completely understand that things fall off trucks.
But so yeah, I was polling the group about like foot coverings, especially now that we're in a country that's very like foot covering or uncovering centric.
Yes.
I would imagine in a public space like that, it's not like being in somebody's house, obviously, but also I have, I would say ugly feet based on some foot issues I've had over the years. So I was looking at like slippers or some other kind of option that would give me the barefoot kind of feel.
Hobbit feet.
Yeah, something like those. There's some like slippers. There's some like things that look like Crocs with toes. There's all these weird things. Yeah, so I was thinking of doing that one, and I might also try to join the Will Row Hood running. But yeah, I haven't decided for sure yet. And then it comes down to, do I buy another, if it's cool for my
It is.
well, I'm saying if yeah, well, ultimately, if I decide if it's cool for me to wear the cheap outfit, do I buy another one or do I run with Andy Serkis scrawled across my chest?
Yeah,
I would do that, because if you run into Diego and you have to have
That would be the legendary. I would have a Sharpie in my pocket. That would be the legendary kind of matchup. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I mean, I'm leaning towards, if I get
yeah, easy to pack.
Like, remember, I got some orange like stick tape to add to that one.
Yeah, you updated yours or refined it or whatever.
I haven't updated it yet. I've got the pieces to update.
Oh, yeah. So because I was looking at mine recently, and it's like it looks good, but the color is off, but having the fact that I do have Andy Serkis scrawled across the chest, the size of an 8x10.
Yeah.
Kind of gives me a different cachet, maybe. I don't know.
You need to get a uniform floaty, though. You need like a uniform.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, that's a fun accoutrement for a lot of these, but I'm going to go, basic. I'm jumping off the platform with nothing but my, wits about me. So
right.
I don't have the floaty or, I would love to see somebody run through with a surfboard. That would be amazing. Or even a boogie board.
That's awesome that if you watch the interview with Tony Gilroy last week, he was wearing an Arcana 5
I
swim
need to
team
watch that.
shirt.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, nice.
He was wearing a button-up shirt, and then when what was the name of the character that's in Rogue One that escaped with Andor? Anyway, that actor.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
They interviewed him, and that's when Tony Gilroy opened up his button-down shirt.
That's funny.
5 swim team, which he popped huge for it.
So the other question, sorry to go back to my wardrobe thing. I'm wondering how many people are going to show up in the T-shirt that you got. That is the Andor jail shirt from the con.
I don't know.
I'm wondering if that's going to be an option for people, because that's now like a legit canon.
Thank you very much,
piece of
Joe.
wardrobe.
Mel She, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not quite sure. I mean, obviously, like I have my shirts already planned for con, photo ops and whatever. I'm considering. So I got just the Andor logo. So like his logo, that doesn't say Andor, it's the red, rebel.
Where is
With
it?
the
We don't
thing
even
that
have it
looks
in this
like
picture.
Quake.
Yeah, it's the Quake logo, repurposed.
I just got that for my photo op with Diego. For my photo op with Manny Jacinto, I am doing our Semantics T-shirt, which you can get on TeePublic right now, and I ordered another one to give to Manny as well.
Oh, that's very cool.
I like that. That's clever.
I plan to do that. Also, I am doing the FETs because as Jeff and I talked about, because with Tem missing out, there you go. Tem missing out on Chicago, the dual photo op of.
Yeah, the one time I buy a freaking photo op and they cancel it on me. So I'm still on the fence.
So I have the T-shirt that I bought from 2019, even though I worn it a couple of times. It says Self-Fet. It's a picture of Boba Fett giving himself a selfie.
Nice.
There you go.
So I got that, and I'm considering if I decide to pull the trigger on a Vanessa Marshall wearing our Rebels crew
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah.
T-shirt for that, since it's the only, or pick up the What Would Hera Do, which is available as well on TeePublic, if you're interested in something like that.
Don't forget the TeePublic stuff.
Yes.
Don't forget.
Never
know what's up on the TeePublic.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
even if we don't announce it, there can be new things popping up there. So
we got some great Japanese shirts as well that Dave threw up as well, including.
Don't
I actually
up,
picked
Dave.
up. I picked up our Virtual Cantina Japanese shirt, but as a hoodie that I had. I'm bringing it to Japan. That's been my shirt.
Nice.
So we were talking about this last week about, obviously Bix here getting a Mind Flayer. Actually, no, it was on a show. I was talking about the Bix getting a Mind Flayer here, but didn't have Elia Kane turning into 11 and frying her, like, he did to Dr. Pershing over there.
Right.
Yeah. It's like,
no,
here it comes.
This equipment operator guy is giving me Sarsgaard vibes of like Pennywise or something.
This version of it kind of reminds me of the Tony Shalhoub version of the Neuralizer from Men in Black 2. Like, yes, hook it up to
talking about like Tony Shalhoub. Was it Tony Shalhoub that was like from Galaxy Quest? It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, these are both of them. The thing was, more that he had to attach it to an engine and actually rev the engine in order to get the Neuralizer to work. Hey, Carl, how are you? Looking forward to seeing you there.
Right.
Konnichiwa.
Indeed.
And Kampai.
Getting closer every minute.
Actually hung out with our lawyer, Tony, the other night. We actually went to a Pura, the revolving sushi place, to introduce him to that kind of stuff.
You mean they have the conveyor belt?
Or were you literally revolving? There's sushi. There's stationary sushi, and you revolve.
You go around like the table.
Yes.
Oh no, we got a frozen Spencer. It seems.
Whatever.
I'm sure he'll. Yeah, whatever. I'm sure he'll refresh momentarily.
Late at some point. Get
Anyhow.
some eel. I don't know that I'm down for that.
See, my problem is that the idea of sushi has never been something that seemed appetizing, even after I've tried stuff. Oh, Spencer's back. Like my oh no, she got the Lobot headset.
Yes. No. Hey. Whoa.
She's got her Beats by Dre.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's probably listening to Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Now, you were talking about like Lobot with KB earlier. I like the fact that there's so much of a backstory with KB and like why she's like that, and you get a whole lot more insight into what the prosthetics or whatever do.
Yeah, what they're helping with or correcting or whatever.
Yeah, what is it? Episode 6? Is it?
Yeah,
it's Zero Friends again.
That's the one that all the kids seem to love the best when they were talking in different interviews about their favorite episodes.
Well, because they broke up and they're different teams. You got to see Fern hang out with Neil, and then you see Wim with KB.
Right, different pairings.
The strong characters with the weaker characters, and you get more like storylines with them.
Yeah, it was like I said, really great. I mean, at some point, maybe we'll get the Lobot story, and you'll find out why was Lobot wearing the dooflachi.
Yeah, that would be a great sort of extra bonus bit of information.
Plus, also with that episode, you had Tetanus, or David's Go Shiny.
Got a little Tippett Studios.
Yep, and our good friend Kate was involved with that.
Woo.
But she had to be like,
yeah. I messaged her afterwards. Were you working on that when we saw you? She's like, yes. I'm like,
exactly.
Oh yeah, I got back there. You can see I got my my tumbler put back in the package, so you can.
Oh, that's great. Very cool.
It's a black tumbler.
No, it's the camo tumbler.
Oh,
right?
oh yeah, now I see it. Yeah, I saw a life-size version of that at one of the ArcLight in Hollywood when that movie came out. It was interesting. I think she actually worked on that one as well.
Yes.
The life-size one.
But no, I'm very excited. I'm excited to see also who shows up for panels, because obviously with Mando, Grogu, even Andor, and also
I mean,
Ahsoka.
it's wide open ultimately who could be there that aren't necessarily other types of guests
right.
that will be, can drop in and talk about what they worked on.
And you know that Dave and John are going to be there all weekend because they're excited for panels like all weekend.
Right.
Doing stuff. So, no, it's
There could be a Filoni and a Foloni sighting together.
I think that needs to happen no matter what.
That would be amazing. That would be the perfect thing.
Inception, the faux-ception, or the Filoni-ception.
If you're looking for
you
another one of our friends who is involved with that deception, Vader girl, Jessica is going to be in Japan.
The Haydenception.
Oh, excellent!
Nice.
Yeah, I was talking to my daughter about that earlier because she's trying to pick her shirt, her outfit for her photo op with Hayden, and I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna get? And telling her about Jess and the Haydenception, and she's like, what? You do that? Yes, exactly.
She should get
so easy to do nowadays.
She should get a picture of Jess with Hayden and do a Haydenception of Jess. No.
That would be bizarre.
Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah, I think she was leaning towards. I think the thing I found on Amazon is just I Heart Anakin, like a big graphic thing. But she did find one that said something about like I don't like sand. I think that might be the.
I have that one. It's a picture of the Lake Como. It says I hate sand.
Yeah,
it's two of them. Or you could do choose it, make a shirt that says you could do a Yelp review, an Anakin Skywalker youngling babysitter.
There you go.
Half a star.
Or just a t-shirt with like a picture of Ross going, Master Skywalker.
So I have to ask you right now, Dave. Rebel Scum Con, are you getting an autograph of Ross with that quote on it?
Oh dear gracious. I'm getting his autograph. What I'm doing it on yet, I don't know. I'm like, do I want his autograph on the Youngling Slayer 3000? I'm not sure.
I was thinking of that. You get the 3000, have him sign that one.
Yeah.
That's here, sign your murder weapon or your weapon that you're murdered by.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
But an 8x10 with the full quote is definitely in the running. Okay. This like her speeder taking off sounds like THX, but just like low. It's like it's almost like the audience is now deaf.
Hmm. Something going down on level 2.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. There's never been a good explanation on why half the people in the Star Wars galaxy, literally, we're probably more like 85% of the people in the Star Wars galaxy are British.
Well, if you also look at this one, the guy who plays the Doctor, because when the old man, spoiler alert, dies in a few seconds, the Doctor is James Potter from the Harry Potter movies.
Mm.
So
FHP.
Yep. So the thing is, but yeah, I mean, this was obviously filmed over there, and Dave Santana was involved in this, and so is our friend Sam Aline as troopers. So it's going to be obviously very intriguing to see what's going on there. I had it printed, a season 2 print. I did not jump on a second Diego in order to get it, unless I wanted to not get my Funko signed. But I paid for the Funko already, so I was going to start my season 2 with Diego and Alan being there. But
that's a good combination. I mean,
you could leave it at that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. But the thing is, also, it goes against it's a European celebration. Do I want to get any Americans? I mean, I know I'm getting, just because, concert in the United States.
Likelihood of seeing them again or whatever.
And also price-wise,
Oh, yeah.
Like,
celebration
nothing against Vanessa or, like, an Ashley Eckstein. But if they're at 1,000,001 cons in the United States, 20% cheaper, why would I want to spend my money at Celebration on actors that I can get on the regular?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really, my go-to, because right now, I think I may have like 2 to 3 a day in autographs, and if they're all people that I need. But Tim, I have like 4 autographs with Tim because I never see him.
Oh yeah, you're right, Sherry. It's like, what? Vel is with the people that were over there are actually associated with the people that are over here, and the thing that was happening out in the forest is actually back in that. This was a kind of a tie it all together moment.
Well, it also shows that no one is what they seem, and that half of them,
putting up that front.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, I got John. My first day, I got John Knoll. I got 3 autographs of Manny, and then I got 3 autographs with Doug Chang and 4 with Tim on Saturday, and then Ahmed and Diego on Sunday. So,
that's the busy
ending big. That's interesting.
Because the thing is that, no offense, I mean, I know it's something Dave wants to do. I know Dave would probably want to go to the Vision season 3 panel. I don't care about that. So for me to go and get Diego on Sunday and miss that panel, the only panel I really want to see on Sunday is if I can do part of Siege of Mandalore, great. If not, is I actually want to be in the room for
when they announce
for the ending. Yeah.
I'll get the picture for the website and change the name on the page, before I walk out of the building.
Right.
I didn't like it.
Exactly.
And they say, okay, guys, so now we know. So now we know where we're going for family vacation next year.
Yeah, right.
Because
solidifies that and sets up the next year.
That panel just determines so much of the next 2 years of the virtual Cantina meetups. It's not even funny.
What time is that on Sunday?
3:30.
It's a later one. That one, I mean,
well, it's got to be. I mean, technically, it should be the last one, but it's. Yeah. I think they still have things that happen after that. But traditionally, the opening ceremony and the closing ceremonies were a big deal back in the day of Celebration, and then it kind of waned, and it became. Like sometimes they wouldn't happen either, and I don't think there is an opening ceremony. They just have a big panel first thing in the morning.
So
right?
In Orlando, all they had was when they had 2017, my first one. Warwick basically said, "And we'll be back in 2019, and we'll let you know where it is." And there was
that was the end, like the closing remark or whatever.
Right, but in Chicago, they had a big version. They had a big version of the Death Star plans that they crowd surfed through the crowd, and then they put it into a big thing, and that's when they announced London.
What was I doing at that point?
So you got a question right there, and I think
that was Monday.
I'll let you go ahead and answer that there, Spencer.
PayPal. Because the thing is that I am not 100% sure that Venmo actually works in Japan. It worked in England. With the QR code at the door, but we're saying PayPal because we know it works, because I know for a fact that Square does not work outside the United States. As far as like they can go onto a website and log in, which people have done for us. But the thing was that in London, our store would, and our door tickets, our hyperspace tickets would not work.
That's weird. Yeah, you're better off like minimizing that problem for sure.
Right.
Never know what kind of things they're going to encounter when it comes to.
And everybody's bringing great shots, great 8x10s and stuff. So everybody's gonna have some really good merchandise, to give away. I mean, I know like the Dave Santana. I need that shot of him drinking a bottle of water outside the Canary Wharf tube stop.
That was pretty legendary back then, especially. It's like the whole real world element, and then stormtroopers chilling, doing that thing, and then where it ended up being.
I mean, you guys stole that for one of our designs for London, literally.
I did, yeah.
So it's kind of like Dave Santana was actually one of those guys. Yeah.
I think I added or changed or modified it slightly or something. I don't remember, but yeah, it was based off of that and probably used parts of that image, if not most of it.
Oh, that's a great one.
Like on Star Wars Unlimited foil card. That's a good one. I of course have to bring something large and ridiculous. I have a 12-inch Forlom figure.
So I already took the box out, but the 23rd
Power of the Force. That's for Christine, right?
Christine.
Excellent.
That's pretty sweet.
Off-World Jawa that I'm getting signed from Bradley.
Okay.
He's gonna have shots of his character from Skeleton Crew on his table as well, which is really cool. Maria is going to have some pictures of her helping Sabine. But I might bring the shot of Hayden dressed in Clone Wars gear with the Matt Lanter hair, because that was her favorite thing she's ever done.
That's pretty cool. So that was a whole. Was that a week? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm bringing replica Speedy. I think for her to sign.
Did you put a sticker on it?
So I'm working on. I want to get, and I don't know if I'll have time to get this done before there. Is to like change the undercarriage some from the standard land speeder to make it more speedy like. But yeah, I want to get like a shrunken down version of this.
Yeah, that was what I meant.
And I want to do that, but I also want to get the license plate like this.
Oh yeah.
And
all the rest of the little accents.
Speedy got a new tattoo?
No.
Hayden.
Aha.
The man who got viral gave Speedy a new tattoo.
Very nice.
But also, obviously, Jim Swearingen, which, you can get so much Kenner stuff. I'm looking at maybe potentially bringing the X-Wing.
So I have that X-Wing he's holding, except mine is in 2, possibly 3 pieces. Not including the fact that the like windshield pops off. So I'm like, well, I could bring like a broken wing and have him sign that.
You could, yes.
But I'm actually leaning towards like one of my Boba Fett's, but
that's also a cool idea.
He's going to have on the table, or if you're getting something signed by from Tori, he's got shots of the rocket firing Boba Fett going to be on his table.
Nice, yeah. I worked in the Rancho Obi-Wan booth with the feet away from the rocket firing Boba Fett.
Speaking of that, I am so excited. I'm so glad that Steve is coming over to Japan.
Yeah. They always have an amazing display, regardless of what and I'm imagining just now thinking about what they've done in the past is that it will likely be heavy on probably Japanese merchandise, because I know he's got probably a lot of it in his collection.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be interesting to see because they've done all kinds of different themes and specifics in terms of the content for the display that they set up, and that would make a lot of sense. That would be cool to see.
Also, for Marty, there is the micro galaxy version of Vane.
Oh yeah.
What vehicle does that come with?
I'm trying to see because I did.
Is it the big? Is it some larger ship, or is it like his stuff? Not his little fighter, right?
Let me see if I can.
Or is it just like something more geared towards other characters that are in the set?
It's his ship that he escapes.
Oh, the little one,
the little
fighter.
Yeah,
that's cool. Oh, there's a show we're watching, and this part is pretty interesting. This whole, like we were talking about, being other than what they seem, kind of stuff. Be a spoiled rich girl for a while.
Yeah.
So what's her face? Genevieve was on that interview with Tony Gilroy the other night, and it was a great shot that they showed of Mon Mothma fleeing the Senate building.
Oh,
it's season 2, which is kind of cool.
In the earlier shots of Mon Mothma in this episode, where she was at some other, I think when she first saw Vel, when David mentioned, being other than what they seem, that hairstyle gave me like complete Cameron Diaz's character in I can't think of the movie now, where she had her hair slicked up
with the thing.
Something about Mary.
Yeah, something about Mary, exactly.
Is that
her
hairstyle
gave me yeah, exactly. Anyways, it was not quite as big as that. Oh, here we go. Talking about Canary Wharf, exactly. And there's Cyril.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing finally. We have Deirdre go up against Orson Krennic.
All right, when they're you think they're going to have to butt heads, right? It's going to be interesting to see that dynamic.
One thing that I actually kind of like, so when Official picks up their pictures for, the table shots, they actually put the Poe Dameron from Resistance.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was like, why? Yeah, I was like, it wasn't my favorite of those shots.
They also put in.
Good for kids.
They actually are giving us some Moon Knight pictures on his table. The Apocalypse as well.
That's all the family now. What as well?
Apocalypse.
Okay, yeah. I thought they wanted to forget
that.
Okay.
I think we all want to forget that.
Yeah, I was all about the Resistance photo when I saw the Apocalypse ones because, no, thank you. Somebody did a fan revision of one of the, maybe it was regular marketing photos or something of Apocalypse, and it was Oscar's standing next to the other characters, and he looks like he's just got a more ornate costume on. He doesn't look like an imposing villain. And then somebody had done this thing where they basically made the character much larger compared to other characters in these stills, and it just the whole vibe was different. So I don't understand why that wasn't a thing in that movie.
I was also very shocked that they had very limited choices for Keller and Beck. They had a lot of Jar Jar, but they only had two.
Well, yeah,
they had two spots of Keller.
Was it 4? At least 4? No, 6.
There was like 6
Jar
Jar
Jar?
Jar. There was like 2 Kelleran back. One
Right.
was his studio shot, and the other was with him holding 2 lightsabers, which is
Yeah.
great. But I want the shot with him, the door opening.
Yeah,
You
looking
got-
at Grogu
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Grogu's
the reveal.
perspective. Right.
And I was disappointed because you can pre-order on official picks when you do a send-in, Tem as the 501st Trooper from Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
But that's not going to be available on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my Tem autographs that I'm getting is actually the 501st Trooper for my Obi-Wan collection. Though since I'm not going to be able to do my Andor Season 2 now, I'm highly considering getting this signed.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's gonna be sad about that, aren't they?
Yeah, Mr.
Well, only when Spencer asks them to go to MegaCon and get it finished for him.
Wouldn't that already like raise that option? I think.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, we saw this earlier. We were talking about this earlier, how excited he is, and he says he's got some great news. So maybe Kelleran Beck's getting his own series.
Oh.
Well, he did have his own series already.
New series. Kelleran Beck already has his own series.
Yes,
He was introduced in his own series,
correct.
which is interesting, having the game show host version of a Jedi and then the actual Jedi.
And then I saw Fantasy Flight is going to be in the Unlimited Play. They just made an announcement about that. And also, inside Hall 5 is going to be where the club's exhibitions are going to be. So if you've ever gone to Celebration and gone into the trash compactor or the big props, that's where it's going to be. And right outside of that room is actually where we're going to be doing our meetup for the family portrait this year.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the thing about those like photo ops is at one point it was, this is the 501st room, and there's some like that trash compactor one. I think the first time I got a photo in one of those, and then it turned into like, I think starting with Chicago was the big kind of fan area, but included, that was also when they joined forces for like the bash, etc. And all the different, things, Rebel Legion and Saber Guild and whatever, kind of put together and just go overboard with the amazing like photo op areas with like basically looks like a set from one of the shows.
Speaking of Bash, I did find out it is 100% sold out.
Wow.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Hopefully it's going to be really cool this year.
Honestly, listen, it's never been as good as it's been in Chicago or in Orlando 17 or 19 for Chicago. But
But
Frozen.
Oh, but Frozen. Yeah, like I said, I've heard great things about Bash's past.
Bash has always been a fun time. I mean, 2015 in the first Anaheim show was a good show, but
that was Canto Bite, right?
No, that was Canto Bite was in Chicago. So Chicago was at the museum, aerospace, or I can't remember exactly what the museum was, but they had a floor that was just, gambling tables. And so that was a lot of fun. That wasn't the entire, Spencer popped out. He'll be back. But Canto Bite was an element of that show, and it was, upstairs there was all kinds of cool exhibits to see, and food and drink and bands playing. But Anaheim was more of like a traditional, like regular bash. It wasn't the first Anaheim. Compared to the second Anaheim, They were, they weren't the best bashes, but the first one was much better than
The second Anaheim is
20
the only one that I've experienced.
Right, exactly.
So
I mean, they outdid themselves with having Weird Al Yankovic headline the show. That con was amazing in all kinds of different ways, but then that was like one of the cappers. So Chicago was amazing. The venue was amazing. It was a great, massive area to get amazing photos and just experience the camaraderie in the room. It was a lot of fun. But they all kind of have their own charms.
Yes.
But some are much lesser than others, unfortunately. But I mean, really, they probably will never top Weird Al.
I can't imagine how you would,
unless they brought him back. Yeah, that was like that's not the way to get introduced to the Bash, because I have a much more humble opinion of the Bash than many people because of that. It's like I've been to a handful before that, and so that was like blowing out my expectations. It was like not where I'm going to start and say everything should be this way from now on. Speaking of, there's an amazing show going on over here.
There is really. I mean, this is like all the Narkina 5. It's so much of a show within a show, right? Is this was a complete departure and different kind of thing than everything that led up to it.
Right. Yeah, they go through phases like of what the crux of the show kind of is. Of course, we had foreshadowing
kind of thing too. It's like, oh, he's only got 40 shifts left. It's like, does anybody ever really get out? Do they?
Yeah. Is it? Oh, did he drop off again? I didn't even notice. Well, he's back. He'll be back shortly.
And then this is the first scene where we saw that they're different colors.
Yeah. So like he's a medical tech, so he's got the blue. They're, I don't even know what their technical title is, but they build their Death Star parts.
What I'll say was, for me, for the Bash, it's, obviously supporting the 501st, but also it's an event that, are we repping our group? Yeah. But the fact is, it's low key that we're just hanging out, as opposed to anything else.
There's a lot of that at the Bash. There's little, groups of everybody who's kind of around or, regulars of Celebration are going to have their little factions, as it were. But, then you meet all kinds of people in the drink line or going, to the, watch some side thing or, like in Anaheim in 2015, they had a second room in the ballroom that they were in, with the stage and everything set up. And they had a second little room that had they were doing like a podcast stage during the con. Oh, dead guy.
No.
So, you could go and watch somebody doing a podcast for a while and get, introduced to something new in that sense, but also meet people that were, there hanging out and checking that out away from the sort of the louder, band area, which is always nice when it comes to actually talking to people.
Oh yeah, no, it's always fun. Like I know, in London, it was kind of like a pub night. That's really what it came down to when we were doing it there. But it was nice. We had our own section. We're all wearing our hockey jerseys, and that's Mr.
Cool
Morrow was sitting at the table next to us, and Sam Aline was hanging out with us, and all the the actors that knew who we were. But also, you're getting to meet 501st people and getting to see people throughout the con. I'm pretty.
It's just basically extending that connection that you have, and reaching out to other people that have similar interests. That's all. Exponentially, I know and meet up with people at Celebration specifically since the first one. It was like I knew Chris and a buddy of mine, Lou, who there's the show. Lou, who goes by or has gone by T-Bone 1138. He had like a BBS, a Discord of the '90s. That everybody that a core amount of people, including Chris, that I know through that have a similar love of Star Wars and just similar interests and whatever. There's a good faction of people that I still know from the late '90s and that bulletin board and the different chat rooms that he had set up. And people that I would hang out with and bullshit with just online, and then kind of move through the different years and the different things that you can do that with, and have met tons of other people, but consistently along the way, met up at Celebration specifically with people that I've known online, and that group just continues to grow. So it's unfortunate that everybody who I've met up with over the years can't always make it, but it's great when they can, and it's amazing environment.
Well, Bash 17 during Weird Al was where I met April.
Right. Well, and
literally, that's exactly where I met her, because she was hanging out with Gary.
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
So,
and posting again.
He turned his phone off except for using the Wi-Fi. So, and North Carolina number, because of my phone at Bash, I'm like, who the hell is calling from North Carolina?
Right. I remember hearing that.
It's Gary on April's phone, and that's how I met her.
There you go.
So pretty hilarious how things have gone from there.
The circle. Yeah.
So they film
same weight and speed of 9, or would it be more like format of the arcs of season 1? It's like I think it is a whole new ball game with the arcs being released all together. I don't know what to expect and why they have chosen to release it.
Yeah, and those huge chunks,
that much content at the same time.
It's too big.
Yeah.
I can see doing like a 3-episode drop on day 1, but not continuing through unless they might as well just drop the whole show at that point. It's weird. But I've heard really good things about it. So it's like, the people involved are really into it. But it's like, I don't know if that's confidence or not confidence from Disney.
Don't know. But anyway, want to also plug right now that this event and everybody involved with the Not So Virtual Cantina Special Edition, we are being sponsored by Hyperspace Props. Go to hyperspaceprops.com and use the code NSVCSE for 10% off your purchases. And if they can't get it in time for you for the Not So Virtual Cantina, talk to Michael Hyde, and he'll actually bring you your swag to the event. He'll have limited amounts available to be bought there.
That's cool.
I do know, and I can say it here, is the brand new Atten credits will be available at the Not So Virtual Cantina.
I've been waiting for those. That's going to be my.
But the question is he going to have a giant thing that we can just like put our head up against him?
We Scrooge McDuck him.
There you go. That's even more than I was thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Cinna is the new companion in Doctor Who.
Ooh.
Which is very, very cool.
I want to see, like, at Celebration, I want to see a live episode of Pod of Rebellion.
That would be fun. And like MVO said, he's like, just give me a little bit of time. He's going to be on that show.
Yes.
MVO needs to be on that show.
He better, like, they stole it from him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Vanessa came on and said, "Oh, I could do this better with cooler people."
Hey,
well, you know something? I think I'm going to have to trademark the title of that show. Just our show, meaning.
Nah.
Trust me, I'm already thinking about like the next trademarks I need to get for our group. But anyway, Dave, what's going on in the network? We got a bunch of stuff coming this week.
There's always stuff going on the network, right? We've got a new episode of the Unifying Force coming up this weekend. We're going to attempt to be actually live with all three of us live at the same time this weekend. We are going calling this like daylight savings time redo.
That's funny
because the last one turned into the curse of daylight savings time, and it was basically
you got the world's longest title for this one.
Me turning into old man yelling at clouds again because like we couldn't figure out and get it all together. Because London apparently does their own version of daylight savings time, but not at the same time. And yeah, it was the thing. So we're going to talk about the things. We're going to talk about probably the Oscars. We're going to talk about season 2 of Andor. We're going to talk about all the stuff that we've been trying to get to, and not so much that.
And don't forget, on Saturday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern time, we have the news desk with MVO and Gary. We're going to be talking about vendors and panels.
Yes, I forgot about that one. The news desk is going to be that's going to be huge, and to get MVO's insight on vendors, that's an insight right there.
Right. So very excited about that. We're 29 days. I leave in 24. I'm mostly packed. I got I think I did another 10 swag bags today. I got another 20 to do, and I'm done.
And I just looked at my Facebook feed thingy. Happy birthday, Matt Fred.
There you go. Oh, we got from the poster again.
I'm sitting there going why is he looking at me so intently? And it's no, he's frozen again. Oh
well, that's why he's in that spot.
Ceases to amaze me. Yes, Tom. I think making it rain with those credits, that's somebody's going to get a concussion. Those are like the hyperspace prop stuff is substantial. You make it rain with these, and
that'll be making it hail.
Somebody is going down.
Yeah, but listen, things are great. Things are coming up. We're all starting to pack. We're all starting to make sure that we're all set for celebration. But we look forward to seeing all that. But also, don't forget, Celebrating Nightly News will be back this season for celebration. Yes, that's what I meant. This is CNN.
Well,
cease and desist. But yes,
especially when they hear James Earl Jones on that, and they just smack.
Yeah. Well, considering that they own his voice now, so so all your celebration news will be coming and recap in the United States, brought to you by a whole slew of the VCN and people who have actually volunteered today to jump on.
That was an amazing conversation.
It's going to be fun.
Okay. So it's going to be very, very cool. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Don't forget that this weekend at the 2 cons around California, you might run into Jeff. I will be at the Super Mega Retro Fest, wherever it's called this year.
Okay. Oh no!
And frozen. And I'm dead serious. If you're around and in the neighborhood and you want to grab a shower, or you know how to do it, because I don't. Come on down.
Lovely. But like Spencer said, I'll be at the Inland Empire Strikes Back in Riverside on Saturday, meeting up with 2 of the fine actors that were in Skeleton Crew, Robert, who plays Neil, and I forget the young lady who plays Fern, but they'll both be there, and I'm going to drop them off some cool virtual Cantina legit merchandise.
Woo, legit
now he's really gone. So yeah, they're going to get some cool shirts because they're all about it, and then I might see Robert and possibly the young man who plays Wim. I forget his name.
He's fun. I can't wait to get some of the swag at the
Yeah.
there is
Yeah, that's really cool that that's going to be a thing that you can do. But yeah, women and Robert will also, I'm sorry, whatever his actual name is, will be at WonderCon as well. So I may see them there too. That's going to be next weekend, and that should be a great show. It's basically San Diego Comic Con light. If you ever have the opportunity, it's a lot easier to get into, and it's very much a similar vibe. But the Comic Con in San Diego is kind of its own thing. It's more on the level of maybe New York Comic Con or Dragon Con in terms of just madness in some cases. That's one con I need to get to someday is Dragon Con. But anyway, Spencer's back.
He is. There we go.
Yep. So make sure you run to us at any of the cons coming up before Celebration or C2E2 a couple of days before, because you can see Joanna, you can see Dave Lewis and a whole bunch of our crew there will be there. But don't forget to follow us on all the things below. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you get notifications about what we're doing here on the VCN. But for all that, thank you very much for joining us tonight. So from Jeff, Dave, and Spencer saying, one way out.
On program.